for watching. I'm Prerna Agarwal, Technical Product Owner for The Guardian. Today, I'll be giving you a short demo on our new feature, which is roles and permissions. So now, as you can see, I have two different users of our Guardian. One is a standard registry, and here I have imported one policy, which is IREC5. And this is a new user, which is registrant, and I just created this user under this instance, under the standard registry. Now, what I will be doing is right now, as you can see, by default, you have policies and tokens in the side menu. So now what I will be first doing is I'll be first removing all these permissions for this user, and I'll be just giving this user an access to this policy. And so that they can access this policy, initially I would not be giving a delete access, but later on then I would also like to do a demo of how the delete access is enabled for this user. So first of all, in order to do that, first I go to administration main menu, which is in our side menu. And now we have added two more submenus option, which is manage roles and user management. So in order to first do the access of roles and permissions, I have to first create a role, which I'll be doing by clicking on manage roles. Once I click on manage roles, I get this roles page. Then I need to create a add new role. I would be just giving a kind of a policy, or I would just say roles demo. And then if you also want to add the description, you can add it. It's an optional field, whereas roles name is a mandatory field. And if you want to add some permissions about different segments, which is analytic, you can add it artifacts, contracts, modules, policies, schemas, tools, or tokens, tags, suggestions, permissions, access, and delegate. But I would right now just focus on the policy. So I would just go to the policy and then click on manage, which would actually give the policy read access to this particular role. And I would also like to go to access and then say signed and published access to this particular role. We also have a delegate. If I want to delegate, give an access of delegate to this particular role, I would select this. But for now, I'm just focusing on the policy. I select all that and then I click on create. Now, as you can see, the roles have been created. And if you want to see what are the permissions, you can click on edit and then edit it. If you want to delete the role, you can also click on this. And if you also want to see what are the users given, what are the users assigned to this role, you can also see that. But right now, as you can see, we don't have anything over here. So I just go to user management. And now, as you can see, I have a registrant user, which is attached to this, which is nothing but this. And now I would be assigning that particular role, which is a roles demo role, to this particular user by clicking on this drop down. I would just unselect default policy user, and then I just see roles demo and I click on save. Now, as you can see, the time I do the roles demo, I get a preview of that particular role, that what all permissions that particular role is having currently. And as you can see that this role have the read and manage policy access, and they also have the read access of the token, and they have the access to assign and publish the policy. Now, once I click on save, so now, as you can see, I only get the policy and manage policy because that was the only permission given to this particular rules demo. Now, when I click on manage policy, I don't see any of the policy. Now I need to assign the IREC5, which is there over here, to this particular user. For that, I again go to user management. I click on the edit. And here in the second tab, I have assign policy. I go to the assign policy, and then I assign this particular policy to the registrant user. Now, when I go back and I click I do a refresh. I go to manage policies. So now, as you can see that the registrant user have IREC 5 access with this policy. And in this, as you can see also that right now it doesn't have the delete policy functionality. Now we would like to enable that delete functionality we would like to now enable the delete functionality for the registrant. So now I would like to minimize this, and here in the standard registry, I would like to now give an access to the deleting policy permission to this particular user. So for that, I again go to the role, I click on edit role, and then here in this, I also enable delete. And when I just edit that and save it, I would now be able to see the delete option in the registrant. So now, as you can see there, the delete policy is enabled. So this is how the permissions work. But in addition to this, we also have one more option of delegate. And this, where you can just enable this role as a delegate, which will give the permission for this user to give the delegate access to another user. And this might act as a roles and permission owner, and then he can actually assign any policy which he have to any other user. So to get more information about roles and permissions, you can go to docs.hedera.com/guardian. And when you get there, you can actually, in the side menu, you have an option of, in the standard registry, you have a section called roles and permissions, where we have added a detailed overview about the rule user guide. As I have done a demo or detailed demo, you can also look at all those features and the assembles in this documentation. In addition to that, we also have the APIs related to this particular permission and the roles, where you can actually list out all the permissions, list out all the rules. You can also create a new role, delete a role, all through the APIs. And if you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to us directly. And if you have any bugs or policy requests or enhancements, please raise those bugs with us so that we can get our team on it on GitHub. Also, if you haven't joined our Discord, please reach out at https://hedera.com/discord. And when you get there, search for sustainability channel, or you can directly reach out to us through our email address, which is info@envisionblockchain.com, or through our website, which is www.envisionblockchain.com. Thank you. Have a great day.